The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Welcome back to the show. Please become a David Pakman Show member. You will get the podcast commercial free. You'll get 2 bonus shows a week, an archive of shows that dates back to 2005. It's really incredible, Lewis. And 75% of January income for the show came from individual membership. So it is really the best and biggest way to support the show. It's quite remarkable.
Remarkable.
Mitt Romney made another one of these kind of, I don't know if it's a gaffe or a faux pas or just yet another indication that he has absolutely no concept of what it's like to be kind of an average American without $250 million in net worth. He gave this speech to the Detroit Economic Club at Ford Field, and he kind of awkwardly praised Michigan and bragged about all the cars that he and his wife own, including that his wife drives, quote, a couple of Cadillacs. Here's the clip. Yet again, it's everyman Mitt Romney.
Yeah, streets are just right. I like the fact that most of the cars I see are Detroit-made automobiles. I drive a Mustang and a Chevy pickup truck. Ann drives a couple of Cadillacs, actually. And
she drives a couple of Cadillacs, actually. So yes, yet another indication this guy is completely disconnected. Remember, $500,000 was just his on-the-side, kind of part-time, not too much speaking fees that he made while he was, as he said in June to a group of unemployed Floridians, also unemployed, Lewis. Mm-hmm. Quite a guy, this Mitt Romney.
Pretty strange guy.
He went back into Florida in September. He said he was part of the middle class. He told a group of workers at the steel plant in November that federal employees make more than he does because he's unemployed after all. Well, actually, his on-the-side speaking fees were $500,000, but put those aside. And then he also encouraged voters to send him to Washington and South Carolina because he had, quote, lived in the real streets of America. Which streets are those?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, unlike many Americans, he has the option of living on the real streets at his California beachfront mansion, or the real streets at his home in New Hampshire, or the real streets at his home in Massachusetts. Doesn't he realize that some people are only rich enough to buy their wives 1 Cadillac? I mean, what, 2 Cadillacs? What's this guy talking about?
I'm waiting for the day that he tells the NAACP that he's black.
Right.
You know?
Can you imagine if it turned out Obama was putting money in offshore accounts and avoiding taxes? What do you think we'd be hearing 24/7 on Fox News, Hannity's radio show, O'Reilly's radio show, Laura Ingraham, Rush Limbaugh, Mark Levin? 24/7. If it turned out in Obama's tax returns he had millions stashed in accounts in Europe and in the Caribbean.
Absolutely.
By the way, I'm confused. I thought Mitt wanted American car manufacturers to fail. He was against the auto bailout. But then once it succeeded, he said it was basically what he would have done anyway. Mm-hmm. It's a brilliant strategy.
Right. I remember him very distinctly saying these companies should have been allowed to fail.
Right. And then he said, hey, I would have done a managed bankruptcy.